Good afternoon to you again, and you're going to explain to us further what this means and hopefully what it means for your pocket, your guest's pocket, and my pocket.
Indeed, Jeremy. Makwe Masilela from Makwe Fund Managers in a moment with us. But just to give you the background here, indeed, Jeremy, we are in a technical recession, 2 quarters of negative growth. It wasn't expected, I tell you. Economists largely thought that we'd have some positive growth in the second quarter. It didn't happen. The number comes in at minus 0.7%. Of course, that means that our economy is shrinking further. So, Makwe, thanks very much indeed for coming in here. Are we worse off than before these numbers were released? In other words, now that we find ourselves in a recession, what does it mean? I saw the first immediate effect. The rand really plummeted, 15 rand 25 to the US dollar. But beyond that, what does this recession really mean?
It's very disturbing, given that the first quarter numbers were revised down. Remember, we all thought first quarter the economy went down by 2.2, but it was worse than that. It was 2.6. So as you said, no one expected all that to happen. And all it means, it tells you that the likes of agriculture, they continue to weigh on our economy. We know they were also part of the culprit in the first quarter, agriculture, manufacturing and mining. But agriculture is going forward and continue to do that. And maybe we need to bear in mind that we had some doubt at some point, then thereafter we had some rains, meaning I think it's coming from a very high base, so it's more or less stabilizing or going back to normal. But all it means for me and you, it means things are not getting much easier. Unemployment aside it needs a growth of anything more than 5%, and we know back home here that with every person working, chances are, on average, you are responsible for 3 to 5 people, so it's just getting so bad. And now we need to do something as business, as labor, and as policymakers. It's no longer a question of them and us. We just have to see ourselves as one.
And that's a very worrying factor, because the NDP tells us that if we want to get that 9.3 million people, by a broader definition of unemployment, if we want to find them jobs in this country, we need an unemployment rate of 5%. When you look at those figures on the screen, minus 2.6% in the first quarter, minus 0.7% in the second quarter, that's not the type of growth rates that's going to make any difference to the 9.3 million people out of jobs.
By all means, and I think maybe you can also get it from the statements coming from the people like the Reserve Bank. They've been just saying downgrading our employment for this year, the likes of IMF, the likes of World Bank. So it tells you that we still have a very long way to go. And even that 5% is questionable, of economic growth, whether are we going to be able to achieve that. And here you are not just talking a once-off 5%, you are talking a sustainable one. Maybe we need to realize that on average, we've been growing by anything around 2.8%. So 5% looks like a very long way to go.
President Cyril Ramaphosa in China securing the investment pledges. He wants money to come into South Africa. He wants the buildings, the factories to come up. Will this drive make a difference to our growth? Or is the problem much more fundamental than that?
I think in the long run it will, and these are the kind of investment that we want, what we call foreign direct investment. We don't need the kind of investment, what we call hot money, that at the click of a button you can bring your money in and take it out. You need foreign direct investment. People coming here, building factories, but unfortunately we're not going to see the results immediately. We've just seen on Monday that China have committed to help us when it comes to the Musina Mercado economic zone. I think plus minus 10 billion US dollars. But this is not money which is going to flow overnight. We have to do some groundwork. We have to get things in place and build those factories, stuff like that. Whether it's a cement factory, stuff like that. So in the long run, yes, we'll have a nice economic impact. And not only with that one, but going forward, people have committed before. So all you need to do is to make sure that investor sentiment has to improve.
And I want to pick it up from there, because there are just 2 sides of the spectrum here. The first is consumer spending. People like me and you going into supermarkets, buying items, filling our cars with petrol, and they're just increasing economic activity. I looked at the numbers, 1.3% drop in household expenditure. So it basically means that people like me and you are not stimulating this economy. On the other end of the spectrum, you have business confidence that's low. Certainly, they're not stimulating the economy. So confidence is such a big word here to get those numbers in better shape, is it not?
Very important, because if I'm confident, as a consumer, that my tomorrow is okay, I still have that job, then I'll be able to spend. I'll be able to go out there and also try to get some credit. Also check our private sector credit numbers were not so exciting, you know. So people are not too confident. So confidence, like you said, is a very big and important way going forward.
Why is it down?
It's down because people are not sure. Policy uncertainty, what's going to happen tomorrow? Because all you just need to do as a government is just to create an environment where business people can create the necessary jobs. It's not for you as a government to create those jobs, but make sure that your policies are just so certain enough. As a business, no matter how good or bad, I just need to know. Then I'll be able to work around that. Business confidence is not looking okay. We talk to investors, whether local or international, they've got this big question that they have to ask that, how are you going to handle the land issue? I understand it's important, it needs to be addressed, but we just need to know the how part of it. So meaning, the sooner we get to tell people how are we going to be able to handle that, we're able to alleviate all this unnecessary attention. And South Africa, unfortunately, gets to be lumped together as emerging market. What's happening in Turkey? What's happening in Argentina? We just saw yesterday, they just came with emergency austerity, trying to put some taxes on their exports, also making sure that they come to serious budget cuts. That as well gets to dent us, whether we like it or not. And the rent itself, yes, is down almost 2%, but anyway, it was vulnerable given what is happening with emerging market currencies.
All right, so confidence, the very big word there. Makwe Masilela, thanks very much indeed for breaking those numbers down for us. And there you go, Jeremy. You know, if there isn't confidence in an economy, both me and you and large businesses simply cannot get active on the economy.
Thank you very much to both of you. Let's move on.